Facebook. How are you? The topic that I want to talk about is I want to share with you something that I experienced last summer. So I was in a program um, and we had an exercise to do. And the exercise was to determine what it is. So what it is that we wanted. What do you want? And why so preface that my dad had died April 5th of that year, and I think it was probably June that I had gone through this exercise. So the question is, what do you want? And you have a partner and you're telling the partner what you want, and they just continue to ask you again over and over and over, what do you want? What do you want? So I started out saying things like, I want my family to be healthy and happy and safe. I want financial freedom. I want a connection with God. I want, all these things that I want, right? That we walk around and go, I want this, I want that. And I had exhausted all of those things. And what started to happen was I started to go back and I started to say, I want my dad. Now, my dad had just died about 2 months before this, and I have said multiple times that my relationship with my dad I was complete when he died. He knew how I felt. I knew how he felt. There was nothing left unsaid. There was nothing that was in my heart that was a point of pain. Like, oh, I wish he would have known. I wish he would have known this. Because I feel like I laid it all out in our relationship over the last 15 years. We had really healed a lot of stuff. And I knew my dad and he knew me in a way that we had never had before. So I was complete with him. So as I'm saying, I want my dad, where this came from, where this really started to come from was from when I was 9. So when I was 9, my parents divorced, and back then, there were no rules, there were no laws about taking your children to another state. And so my mom didn't take us to another state because she was mad at my dad. She just really wanted to go. She really wanted to, move on, move out, expand her life. And so she chose to bring my brother and my sister and I to a different state. And that period of my life, that experience in my life was like when you have those experiences in your life where it's like a before and after. It's a before life happened, before, I want to make sure I'm not upside down. I think I am upside down. Am I upside down over here on Instagram? Really? If I am, I think I'm just going to turn myself. And then I just dropped Instagram. That's great. Oh my goodness. Hey, sorry, IG. I'm trying to fit you into my little thing. How appropriate that I would do this to you and I would fall all over the place. Sorry. Did I give anybody a stomach ache? That's going to be fun to rewatch. So my mom had moved us, and there was this life. It was a decision. It was like a life was this way back then, and then after it was this way. And so it was traumatic for me. It was devastating for me. It was, here I am in this family unit, my mom, my dad, my brother, my older brother, my younger brother and sister, and we're a family, and we're in our family. And then it's like, boom, I wake up and it's me and my mom and my brother and my sister. My older brother, we have different fathers, so he went to live with his dad, and my dad's back in New York. And the feeling that I had was one of like devastating loss. It was just devastating loss. It was, my dad's not here and my brother's not here. Like, boom, rip. And so for me, it was just this devastating experience. So as I'm going through this process and I'm saying things during this exercise, like, I want my dad, I want my dad, I want my dad, that I said I want my dad 100 times for 20 minutes. and it turned into screaming and crying and like snotty tears. Like I just went back to being 9. And I expressed and I felt and I emoted like all of the things that I couldn't do then, didn't feel like I could do then. And I did it in this room with this person, and I wept and I sobbed and I mean, I get at certain points, I was like hot and sweaty. Like, you know, when you remember back to like being so upset as a kid and crying so hard that like you sweat. Like it was not pretty. It was devastating. It was, you know, so many things. So many things that I was experiencing in that moment and feeling like just feeling all of it. It was insane. And so I talk about this because me having gone through that experience, I've done a lot of personal development work. I've done a lot of work looking at my shit. But that was a release. That was a letting go of something that I didn't even realize I was holding on to. And so I don't like to talk about emotional eating. Like, I'm like, it's not sexy. Like, who cares, right? But the reason why it's what I do is because there's always something underneath that we get to look at. Like, okay, so what's the thing that has been driving me, motivating me, stopping me, limiting me, in my life, in my business, in my relationships with my kids, right? Like there's stuff that happens to us and it limits us, like experiences and something someone says, and then we start to like kind of shy away from being hurt again. And so I wanted to come on here today and just talk about, it's not about the food. It's not about your body. It's not about your relationship with food. It's about so much more. It's about something so much deeper, about what you're either afraid to, like me, or unwilling to, or so disconnected from it. It's so hidden that we don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it is. Like, I don't know. I mean, so many of the women I work with are like, I go, how do you feel about that? I don't know. Right? Like, so my point in sharing this is there's always a deeper level. There's always another layer. Like there's always another layer. And so your happiness and your joy and your vitality is on the other side of like dealing with your shit. I mean, it's on the other side of dealing with the pain and the heartache and the things that hurt us, and allowing, being able to let that shit go, like let it go, so you can move on and create a space for something else. When we're holding on to stuff from our past, and this is like, I really didn't even realize that this was occurring for me in the background. There's always something that's back there that's like, oh, where did that come from? So anytime you're looking out into your life and you're like, oh, this area is working, not working, there's something going on that is probably something for you to look at, right? Like my relationship with my dad was not working. It just wasn't working when I was 23. And so I took it on. Like I just took it on. There's a lot of other things that weren't working. I took them on. And I had to discover like all of the hurt, all the stuff that was there, and then let it go, like process it, feel it. And it's not like, here's the thing, it's not like you do that one time and then bam, it's done, I'm done. Check, like I'm good now. Because that's just not how life works. There's constantly things that are hurting our feelings or breaking our heart or that we're dealing with in a new way. I mean, if our kids are moving into a new phase, like I just saw something about with my sister, like her kids are like, they don't need her as much, right? Like this like the moms of older children, like the transition, we're always transitioning into a new phase. We're always transitioning. There's always the next thing that's happening. Like we want to hold on to like, it's all, we want to hold on to consistency and stability. And it's kind of a myth because your body's always changing. Just kidding. getting older every single day. We just can't see it. Life moves. Life moves. And we feel like we're just doing the same thing, but we're not. So my point in sharing this is there's something deeper going on. I love discovering what is underneath stuff. Like maybe I wanted to be an archaeologist. I don't know. Like I'm a digger. I love to dig. I love I love transformation. I love helping people go from where they are to this new place that gives them freedom and power and self-expression. And oh my gosh, there's just like this joy, and I feel so free. I feel so opened up. It's amazing. So let me know if you can relate, if there's like, oh my gosh, yes, I did this exact thing. This happened to me. Maybe not crying in a room with a bunch of people about your dad, but that you've had a realization that you've been holding on to something, or something is there and it's limiting you or stopping you from doing or being the thing that you really want to do or be out in the world. And then just want to let y'all know it's Friday. Oh, it's Flashdance Friday. I don't think I can Flashdance Friday unless I go off of Instagram, because that's my music. My phone is my music. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just come in a little bit later and do a little Flashdance Friday, because I don't have any music. Feeling the moves though. I'm feeling the moves. All right. I will not be here next week. I will not be on Facebook Live next week. I will be in San Diego at a mastermind training. So I love y'all. Mwah. But you'll see me the week after, the week of like the 11th, March 11th, I think. I will resume. And I'm also going to be changing my time. No more 12:30. I will most likely be doing 9 a.m. or 9:30. It's kind of crazy. All right. Peace out. Love you. Happy Friday. Bye.